I'm going to give you my top 10 surprise fantasy breakouts in 2016. Not players who were drafted early and did well, but players who seemingly came out of nowhere and way overperformed compared to their average draft position, giving their owners great value and helping propel them into the playoffs. The first three on the list are all within a few points of each other as top 15 running back scorers. Number 10 is Ajayi, running back for the Miami Dolphins, who was chosen as an afterthought in the 11th round. Those two historical 200-plus yard games in a row just about assured his owners of wins in those 2 weeks. Number 9 is Spencer Ware, running back of the Kansas City Chiefs. He became an instant waiver wire pickup after he burst out of the gates in Week 1 and never looked back as KC's starter. Number 8 is Jordan Howard, running back of the Chicago Bears. Drafted in the 12th round, Howard has run for prolific yards on a bad team, but until recently wasn't getting into the end zone, otherwise he'd be even higher on this list. Number 7, Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. Understandably, as a rookie QB, he wasn't drafted until the 11th round, but then he proceeded to shock the NFL world, and he's currently the 5th highest fantasy quarterback point getter. Number 6, Jamison Crowder, wide receiver of the Washington Redskins. Undrafted in most leagues, he's currently the 12th highest wide receiver point getter with 7 TDs this year. Number 5 is Michael Thomas, wide receiver of the New Orleans Saints. Also undrafted in most leagues, this rookie is truly having a breakout season. As Drew Brees' favorite target this year, he's currently 9th in fantasy scoring for wide receivers. Number 4 is LeGarrette Blount, running back New England Patriots. Picked up in the 10th round of the drafts as an afterthought, Blount is the 8th highest running back in fantasy points with a jaw-dropping 13 touchdowns this year. Number 3 is Jimmy Graham, tight end of the Seattle Seahawks. After his disastrous season last year, he fell all the way down to the 17th tight end off the board. Yet he had a phenomenal bounce back year, and he's tied with Greg Olsen as the 2nd highest tight end fantasy point getter this year. Number 2 is Melvin Gordon, running back of the San Diego Chargers. He was the 22nd running back off the books, yet he's amassed the 3rd most fantasy points as a running back, only behind David Johnson and Zeke Elliott. And my number 1 pick is Matt Ryan, quarterback of the Atlanta Falcons. Nobody wanted this guy in the draft. He was taken in the 14th round, the 28th quarterback off the boards behind just about every other quarterback in the league. Most of us didn't even want him as our backup QB. So what's he done? Oh, he's only the 3rd highest fantasy point getter for quarterbacks this season with 27 passing TDs. That's my top 10 surprise breakout list for 2016. Whether or not you made the playoffs, fantasy football is a brilliant game that makes the NFL so much more intriguing, don't you think? It's been a good year.